Hi everyone. Okay, I am jumping on to answer questions about any thoughts on arthritis in the hands, in particular the index fingers. So this is really cool, and it brings me back to a little bit around the chakra work that I do. So arthritis in the hands, we'll go through that, and I will go specifically down into the index finger as well. So it's not so much about arthritis, the condition and the emotions of it, but arthritis tends to be quite inflamed. Now, inflammation can come and present in many different forms. So I work a little bit with doshas as well, and there is a particular dosha constitution that will present more with arthritis, that it's very hot and inflamed. This is someone that's got a lot of fire energy in them. And then there is also a constitution that will have arthritis, but it presents more like the cold, stiff type arthritis. So I look at the energy behind someone's condition, like the actual energy, like is it hot and inflamed and swollen, or is it cold and stiff? And this tells me a lot about the person. Okay, so hands in general, I use my hands a lot to express. Your hands are your expressors. So if you're having this arthritis in your hands, the person who asked this, or you know of people that have got arthritis in their hands, it is very an individual story, every condition. But I would be questioning, where is expression blocked? Now, I was talking about chakras. The whole chakra system, the 7 chakras, is represented in your hands. All 7 are in your hands, all 7 are in your face, all 7 are in your feet as well. And then there are segments throughout the body. But there are chakras in your hand. And what's really interesting is that these kind of like segments through the fingers are individual chakras in themselves. So you can look at where is the specific joint that is affected. And when the joints get really kind of swollen and knobbly, I think of it as, let me show you this hand actually. I've got funny light going on. But when you've got swollen joints or knuckles, I think of that as like a block in the energy. And anyway, you've got some chakras here, and then you've got 3 that come up through here, and the flow of the chakra energy is to just flow through. So you imagine if you have like a big knobble, a big swollen joint, it's like a block to that energy. I won't get into the specific chakras because, of course, like people can have any sort of a combination going on, and the specific finger that was labelled was the index finger. So each finger has got an emotion that it governs behind it, and then of course there's a left and a right side as well, so I'm going to go into that. So just a quick summary is that there are different presentations of inflammation. Hot and swollen, which usually comes up in a fiery constitution type person, and then there is also cold and stiff, which is a different constitution of person. So you can get very different energies behind conditions, in particular arthritis and inflammation. Then you can look at the hands and think of them as expressors. The fingers are usually like the higher chakras, the throat, the brow and the crown. And, you know, if there's swollen knobbly joints, where is this restriction of flow happening? Of course, on a physical level, if you've had injuries, if you use your hands a lot in physical labour, if you hold a lot of tension in these joints, then you may be predisposed to getting forms of arthritis. This is more the osteoarthritis, like overuse, heavy labour. Then there are autoimmune condition type arthritides, and there are many that can affect the fingers. So let's get down to the index finger. So the index finger is all about judgment. Okay? So, and I've had some really interesting clients in groups and one-to-one where they have presented with really hot and inflamed or rheumatoid arthritis in their index finger. And it's quite interesting how this is coming up once again. So judgment, just think when I say these words, what comes up for you when you hear judgment, if you are someone that's got index finger issues. So There's a bit of a saying, when you're pointing the finger and judging someone, there's 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. And one of the biggest things people fear when they step into their identity and their truth is fear of judgment, of what people are going to think of them. And usually we only fear judgment because we have once been someone who has judged others at some point in time. So this is going to roll into a whole thing on judgment now. And it's something that I have learnt over the years, is that I did used to judge people. But my gosh, when I went on my path and I sometimes then ended up in positions that these people were in, I was like, ooh, I shouldn't have judged, because I now have learned my lessons. I now understand why they do these things. So check in with yourself if you've got any issues around your index finger. I sometimes, occasionally in the past, would get a rash on my finger. So this is not just about arthritis. It's like anything that affects your index finger. And it was interesting. And I use these as signs of like, okay, well, where am I judging? Even though I thought I was someone that didn't judge very much, is where am I judging things? Okay. So judgment, when I say that word, if you're someone with index finger issues, what comes up for you immediately? And it's that ability to trust that intuition, those messages, even if they don't make sense, even if they're not something that you want to address. A lot of the time it's not stuff we want to actually address. Where are you judging others? And where is it that you might be judging yourself? So you can go right into left side and right side interpretations. It really goes into the energetics of left feminine and right masculine. So it will resonate for you around judgment. If you have index finger issues, it will land for you if there's truth in this. You will feel some sort of emotion. You will feel some sort of sensation, even if your mind goes, whatever, judgment, your body is going to react to this. And that's how you know that there is something in this.